Today, we bring you another update on the Ebola virus. Please stay with us.
If you want to know what's trending or you miss your favorite live shows, you can watch it all on our YouTube channel. Simply log on to www.youtube.com/channelsweb. Scroll down to your favorite program and click play. You can also view all uploaded videos by clicking on View All. Don't forget to subscribe and get the latest videos. If they are interesting, like them and be heard. Get connected with the channel's television YouTube page. The news at your fingertips.
Welcome back. You're still watching The World Today on Channels Television. Now, it's very unfortunate, but according to the World Health Organization, an unprecedented number of doctors and nurses have been infected with the Ebola virus in West Africa. More than 2,600 people in Guinea, Liberia, Sierra Leone, and here in Nigeria have been infected since March, including more than 240 healthcare workers. Infections in medical workers are due to a shortage of protective equipment and staff, and only 1 or 2 doctors are available for 100,000 patients in some of the affected countries. The WHO said the heavy toll on healthcare workers had consequences that further impeded control efforts, such as the closure of health facilities. The current outbreak is the largest ever and has affected an estimated 2,615 people. About half of those infected have passed away. Now, South Sudan already has a lot to deal with, but there's more. The United Nations says one of its cargo helicopters has crashed in the world's newest country, with unconfirmed reports saying it was shot down. On Twitter, the UN mission in South Sudan said the Mi-8 helicopter was on a routine mission when it went missing near Bentiu. But a UN official told the AP news agency that it had actually been shot down. Thousands of people have been killed this year in bitter fighting between South Sudan's army and rebel forces. Let's take a look at how the crisis in the world's newest country is affecting its people.
At least 10,000 people have been killed since fierce fighting erupted in December, pitting President Salva Kiir's government forces against supporters of Riek Machar, his former deputy and longtime rival. The presence of NUA in Amokpine is unique, as this is one of the only areas in the country where the two communities are living side by side. The conflict has reopened deep ethnic tensions between Kiir's Dinka and Machar's NUA in a country which won independence from Sudan in 2011. Kiir and Machar agreed in May to a ceasefire and to form a transitional government, but little progress has been made. The United Nations mission in South Sudan, UNMISS, has been monitoring the situation in Amokbine and providing assistance to the displaced.
Amokbine is actually a Dinka area. It's a Dinka Payam, but people from Unity State, the Nuer, have been in a long history with the people of Amokbine. They have intermarried, and they have this social link. So that's why they felt more secure to come to Amokpine than any other area, any other Payam within Lake State.
Displaced people who have been living in Amokpine since June 2014 say they feel safe here. Aid organizations and local NGOs have been teaching members of the community here lessons on human rights, sex education, and crime prevention.
In the future, things will change, and then the coverages will improve, and that will reduce the childhood illness in this area.
WHO has been vaccinating against childhood diseases such as measles, tuberculosis, polio, and hepatitis. But while life in Amokpine is relatively peaceful, aid agencies say South Sudan could be headed for the worst famine since the mid-80s, when malnutrition swept through East Africa and killed over 1 million people. 50,000 children under 5 were at risk of dying of malnutrition in the coming month.
Now, conflict among the army and 6 armed groups in the Central African Republic, that's the CAR, has led to a complex and protracted humanitarian crisis affecting over 1 million people, including hundreds of thousands of children and internally displaced families. Here's more.
Central African Republic was thrown into turmoil since Salika rebels launched attacks a year ago and forced President Francois Bozé to flee. Some 2,000 French and 6,000 African Union peacekeepers have been deployed to Central African Republic, but they have struggled to help the weak transitional government stamp its authority on the mineral-rich country. A 12,000-strong UN peacekeeping force is due to start deploying next month. Although ongoing conflict continues to affect millions in the country, it's the children who have been hit the hardest. This is the Bangui Pediatric Hospital, the only one of its kind in the country. With the increasing numbers of children being treated for malnutrition having tripled in the last year, the hospital provides an inpatient nutrition treatment center and 2 additional tents to accommodate the overflow of malnourished children. Alexis is just one of the 2.3 million children affected by the conflict. When Salika rebels attacked the village of Bouara, where his family lived, all the villagers were forced to hide in the bush. Alexis was left for dead after his father was shot several times and Alexis lost consciousness. His mother later found him lying on the body of his dead father.
They came into our shelter and my husband took Alexis and fled. I took our other child and ran. They chased me, but when they got close and realized that I was a woman, and they changed direction to go after my husband.
This is just one story of war.
Now, before we draw the curtains on the world today, we'd like to close on a very light note. Dog is man's best friend, and if you were ever in doubt, take a look at this next report.
Motorists in Los Angeles, California on Thursday, August 21, worked together to help save a dog stranded on a busy highway during rush hour. It's not yet known how the dog ended up there, but drivers on the 710 freeway spotted the push zigzagging across the left lane of the crowded highway around 6 p.m. Compassionate drivers then slowed down, turned on their emergency light and formed a mobile fence to protect the dog and herd it to safety. Finally, motorist Andy Valero pulled over and began chasing the dog on foot.
I turned my hazards on and I made sure that she was kind of going towards the shoulder. Just to save the dog, because I didn't want her to get hurt. She's super sweet, though. I was sitting with her the whole time, and she just licked me, and she was just sitting there on the floor calm. She's really sweet.
Valero was able to scoop up the dog and carry her to safety. After getting her off the freeway, Valero turned her over to animal control. Officer Robbie Gochiako is optimistic that he will be able to find the dog's owner.
There was no microchip and no tag of any kind. This dog is so sweet, we're for sure going to find a home for her.
From this, we can tell that dog really is man's best friend.
There was no microchip and no tag of any kind.
Well, that makes you wonder whether they actually formed a mobile fence, but I think the story would have been different if it was a Calabar motorist in question. Well, that's it on The World Today. Thank you for watching. I'm Cynthia Are.